Okay, well, hello everybody and welcome. I thought I would do an update for you. I've been working on the robot hand. I kind of want to have a real version of the hand. I'm not really wealthy, so I don't know. I don't know if I could get one of these made out of metal, but I'm thinking maybe perhaps plastic, PETG, 3D printed. I keep watching the robot hands that are out there. None of them are this size. I put a ruler back there. It's 4 inches wide. It's the same size as my hand. The little hydraulic cylinders that run it are maybe 3 inches long and a 1/4 inch in diameter. They act as the intrinsic muscles of the hand. And the talking to the CNC groups, I don't do CNC, so I didn't know what the issues were. But they're like, you have to have a step file. If you don't have a step file, nothing's going to happen. So I thought, okay, I will figure out how to make step files, and each of these little parts, all of these little parts of this robot, of this hand, that part, that part, that part, that part, that, that little roller, that, all of this, these support structures, every one of these individually has to be a step file. So, okay, again, I started out with this in KeyShot because KeyShot makes everything so beautiful. We'll switch over to SketchUp because it's quicker and easier. And we'll anyway, welcome and hello, and I will go over to something else just for a moment here. I kind of like to go over to this one. Again, I do have a YouTube channel. I welcome you to subscribe. I think you'll enjoy it. I have a website. I talk about just whatever's on my mind. I do have a card game for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I want to do this robot hand stuff first. I tend to go back and forth between a design for a robot hand and a design for a military robot and a military heavy lift drone. It turns out in Alaska, you can buy diesel fuel for $3.80 a gallon in Anchorage, and all throughout Alaska are these little communities that are desperate for fuel, and the price is $15 a gallon. And the drone that I created doesn't need a runway, so it could pick up, it has a 1,000-pound payload with 2 crew members, pick up 1,000 pounds of diesel fuel at $3 a gallon and fly it somewhere for $15 a gallon. Anyway, I'll get back to that, but we're doing the hand. In my website, you go to the menu, you go to discussions about a piston robot, and then you go to give the robot a hand. And that's the latest stuff there. And I always like to put in just any physically real object has the potential that it can hurt somebody. So if you are managing a physically real item, it's my advice, manage it in a manner that is legally allowed and reasonable and safe. And if you can't manage it in that way, my advice is do not create it as a physically real item. So now let's go take a look at what we've been up to. All right. Well, as you know, everyone has 10,000 guardian angels. I actually need 20,000. Some of the 20,000 could have reminded me that I didn't have the camera plugged up. I am working through how that's not my fault, but I haven't figured it out yet. Anyway, we'll do some more. Now we got the camera working. Can somebody, like I said, I'm working through how it's not my fault. All these little parts need to be individual step files, and I'm going to go, I just like this because it's so pretty, but now you'll notice the thumb is slightly different from the other fingers in that the thumb itself can rotate. I'll show you what I discovered I like drawing in SketchUp because it's so easy and pretty. SketchUp uses a form of presentation The art people refer to it as cartoon, but what it is everything's visible. The lights are always perfect. There's no shadows. All the lines are sharp. All the corners are present. It's great. But it's a polygon-based drawing program, and the step files are not. So there is where you run into the problem. The other thing I like to do whenever we're doing this is to see what Bing has for us. And we will just take a look at that real quick. Okay. And this is, to me, here I am working along, and Michelangelo walks up and says, "So, what are you doing there, Dr. Gray?" I said, "I am drawing. This is art." And he says, "Well, I'm an artist too." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I got a hand and a shoulder," and he nods his head. I feel like a little bit that's where I am with the robot crowd, but they're making very nice stuff. I just want them to make something that imitates what human beings have, and they don't seem to be able to want to do that. It's very interesting to me. Anyway, let's see here. What does it say? Petroglyphs near Fuchsia in a national park. So, Utah. So, there we go. Thank you, Bing. All right, we'll go back to reality. Let's take a look at what SketchUp has for us. I prepared a presentation about, so I took this one hand, and I thought it was really important to know what's going on with the parts. And so I took one finger, and the way the human body works is it takes something that works well, and it just duplicates it. It doesn't. It's all variations of the same thing. So if you have this is the index finger. If you have a finger, all of the other fingers are going to be pretty much the same thing, just copies, slightly different. I thought the CNC people would be very intrigued to know how big are all these parts in terms of cubic inches or cubic millimeters. They were like, "Nah, we don't care. We just want to see the step files." This, by the way, I wanted you to see. I measured a hand that I keep with me at all times, being my hand. And this is the different lengths of the different phalanges of the different fingers. And that's all that is. And I got all the size of the parts. One of the cardanic joints is 1,500 cubic millimeters, which is 1.5 centimeters, 1.7 grams per cubic centimeters for the PETG plastic, which means that one of the cardanic joints weighs 1.9 grams, and there's 16 of them in this design. And this is the structural part, and it comes out to 36,000 cubic millimeters, which is 36 cubic centimeters, which is 46 grams. So I was very pleased that the entire hand weighs about 3 ounces, but they just didn't seem to care about that, which is fine. I don't do CNC. Let's see what they wanted me to talk about. All right, and we're looking at this same hand in SketchUp. Now, when the creative spirits of the universe were told to create a human, they said, well, we're going to need some way to get it to move around. And they said, we'll ask our technical guys or persons. And they handed them a muscle. If you want to understand a human muscle, take a balloon that's about the size of a basketball when it's blown up and fill it 3/4 full with water. That's what a human muscle is. You can move it around. You can make it the shape of a banana. You can make it the shape of a baseball bat. You can make it the shape of an hourglass. You can wrap it around a bone. You can have one muscle laying on top of another muscle, and they don't fight with each other. That's what the creative spirits of the universe had when they created humans. We do not have that as robot people. We have physically real, rigid parts. So we have to duplicate what the human being has with a much inferior system. And what I want to do is divide this problem into 3 problems. Let's just make a hand first that has the same size as a human hand and the same features as a human hand and the same range of motion as a human hand. We'll power it up later. Let's not try to do everything all at once. And so the CNC people were like, we need a step file for each of these parts. And I said, well, this is 7 mm. And they're like, send us the step file and we will tell you if we can do this. And so this is a polygon based drawing in SketchUp. You can save it as a STL file. I'll show you that. This is still in SketchUp. These are these individual parts, the connectors between the phalanges. That's that little roller. These are the extensor and flexor tendon connectors. Each of these is an individual part. I exported it as a STL file, and then I opened the STL file in Autodesk Fusion. And this is what I was working on. I think this is the little finger. And this is the distal phalange, the middle phalange, and the proximal phalange. The proximal phalange has a connection between the distal end of the proximal phalange and the proximal end of the middle phalange, but the proximal phalange also has a connection to the metacarpal phalangeal joint, which is here. And that's what I've been working on. And I have a separate folder, and that is what this folder is. These are all these different parts. And so I took that proximal phalange with all its little connections on it over into Fusion. Let's go look at that. And what you can do in Fusion is you can ask Fusion to import that STL file, and Fusion will look at it and tell you. It will have a little star here that says you screwed this up. But Fusion is very, very specific. SketchUp is forgiving. If you make a mistake, you might not see it. Fusion's like, nope, it's not right. But then it'll fix it for you. And then you can ask Fusion in the mesh system to convert the mesh, which is what SketchUp is, into a solid. And then once it's a solid, then Fusion can take that solid and export it as a step file. And so there it is. This is where the proximal phalange goes and connects to the metacarpal phalangeal joint, and that's the proximal end of the proximal phalange. This is the distal end of the proximal phalange, and this is the connector that connects it to the middle phalange. And so you build a series, you can see here, of parts. And I'm not a wealthy person, so I'm hoping I can get one hand built. We'll go back to something that's pretty. This is workable. It's not very pretty. And these little bolts, these are M1.4 socket head bolts with nylon insert lock nuts, and they exist. You can buy them. So I said to the CNC people, so what are you going to do? They said, we'll make all these little parts for you, and you can put this thing together. And that's my plan. My daughter's ring is woven gold strands, and something was sticking in her finger. I couldn't even see it, but I got an operating stereoscopic binocular microscope with a video camera attachment, and I think I can put this hand together, and I will show it to people. And my plan is, if anybody's interested, I will just tell them, well, here is the CNC company that made these parts for me, and they will send them to you in a bag. Or if you want them to build it, you can talk to them and they'll put it together for you. And we're going to get over into powering this up. But this is the update. Right now, I'm just creating these parts one by one. And we'll see how that all goes. Anyway, I thought you might be interested. So that's where we are right now. All right, and this is two of the hands. You can do a thing where you drop a dollar bill and somebody will catch it. And what happens, because of the anatomy and physiology of human beings, they can't catch the dollar bill. I'll show you my collection of step files. This is what I have so far. And I sent these files to the CNC people, and they said, yeah, we can make this for you. So I'm going to get some more of them made, and we will see. We'll just have to see what happens.